Diary of a Side Piece. Sometimes Affairs Are Murder. An erotic thriller by author MAXX. Narrated for you by Joyce Licorice with Dream Empire Productions. All rights reserved. Prologue. How many marriages end in divorce because of an affair? Some of us know it's coming, but end up in a place that has us caught up. I knew Jackson was all wrong for me even when he and I argued and called ourselves breaking up. A week later, we were back in bed together. Why my husband Steve never suspected a thing? Because he was too busy cheating. He would tell me I was tripping when I could blatantly see all the signs that he had a woman other than me, his wife. I got fed up with the lies and the deception. I wanted revenge. I now sit in court facing a murder charge. I didn't trust all the signs that I was being lied to by everyone, including my own family. Take my sister Skyla. She was mad because I have this sexy man and now a husband, and she can't keep a man because she's an asshole. Now, how is that my fault? A few years ago, was I a woman scorned? Did I believe in cheating? No, but that's where my story begins. Trust me. I tried control to do it the right way. Like I said, I did try. When I just started a career as a nurse, Casey Sanders, I heard, called on the intercom. I was with Mr. Winston, my patient. He was an older guy who broke his leg after he fell a few feet from painting a house. He kept trying to hit on me. I thought it was flattering, but never did anything that would lead him on. You know the old saying, never say never. I should have at least listened to that little voice telling me not to get involved with a married man. Not only was he married, he also had 4 children with his wife and another with his ex-wife. I guess a woman should see the dark signs of a man who has blaring issues. They should run for the hills. But his charm and good looks, added to the fact he's got money, were clouding my judgment more than I care to say. 1 year before, my attorney, Devin Hester, walked over to me and said, "Don't worry, she doesn't have a leg to stand on." And then he gave me a wink. I started having flashbacks of how this all started. I'm not that crazy about dating men whom I met online. I can't even say of my experiences of men I met at sports bars or clubs or things of that nature have gone well. Jace Barranco was a man that I thought was all that. He had long wavy hair and a body that only an athlete has. And sex with him caused me to write a diary just so I could look back on the fun times we had. I even got turned on by the notes I wrote on all the kinky sex we used to have. He was a Scorpio, and man, did he have an imagination for freaky sex. You name it, we tried it. As soon as he said we were going out, I would get hot between my legs because I knew what was coming. Dear Diary, March 24th, 2019. There I was sitting on the bed watching Jace sitting in the chair in my bedroom, stroking his manhood. He was licking his lips slowly. His green killer eyes alone would have any woman wet with anticipation. His game today was to tease me by seeing him butt-ass naked, stroking his cock, making me want to feel it. "Don't you want this?" he says, moaning a bit. One thing he knew, I loved fucking his ass. I would have 2 to 4 orgasms, and I mean back to back. "Don't you want to feel this?" he says, continuing to slowly stroke the head, licking the palm of his hand and rubbing it on his rock-hard shaft. "Jace, I can't take it anymore. I want you inside me," I say, pulling off my purple bra and letting the girls bounce. This game was to see who could make who hot enough without giving in. It was fun, but really a challenge. He was now eyeing the slow striptease I was now giving him. "This pussy is so wet. I moan as I place my hand on the silky fabric of my purple panties. "You want this, don't you?" Like a high school boy in a trance, he shakes his head yes. "Come get it if you want it," I say, trying to win the game. He then looks right at me and says, "Nope." Then he gives me a sinister smile. Ah, you think I'm gonna lose, huh? Then I turn around and slowly pull my panties over my ass cheeks. Are you sure you don't want to hit this? I slap myself on the other butt cheek. Crack. It sounds nice and firm. I look back at him, who is now standing on his feet like he's at a football game. His dick is pointing right at me. Looks like somebody's ready, I say as he moves closer. I then spread my cheeks so he can get a good look. Come on, Big Daddy. Take what's yours. I purr like a cat. The next thing I know, he was mounting me like getting on a wild horse. I came hard as I felt him push up in me. Not a surprise since my body was already on the tens. Truly, I hated to lose, but the pleasure was all mine. The judge tells the court to come to order. The room is filled with spectators and the news press. I can feel my legs shaking slightly as I look at the jury. It has a mixture of old people and of young, of all races. I didn't know if that was a good thing or a bad thing, but they were listening intently, to say the least. The prosecution attorney, Richard Glass, is known as the courtroom killer. That was hype, Mr. Hester reassured me as he sat looking at his laptop.
Are you ready to proceed?
Judge Gray asks.
Yes, Your Honor. Tamara Peacock, can you take the stand?
He says. A black woman who was in her late 20s stood up. My mind started to race to who she was. I had seen her before, but I couldn't remember where.
Bailiff, will you swear the witness in?
The judge requested.
Do you swear to tell the truth and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
Yes.
State your name, please.
My name is Tamara Peacock.
Tell the jury what you do for a living.
I'm a customer rep for Mates and Dates.
Can you tell the jury about the company? Objection,
my attorney says.
Mr. Glass, can you get to where you're going with this?
The judge requested. He shakes his head yes.
Does Mrs. Sanders have an account with this company?
She looks over at me, then she looks away, then answers. A while back.
Is she in the room?
Yes.
Can you point her out?
She pointed at me. My attorney stands up.
I fail to see the relevance of Mrs. Sanders having an account. There are lots of members who belong to this company. If Mr. Hester would let me finish, the court will know what this is about.
Mr. Glass responds. My thoughts start to drift back to the reason I joined Mates and Dates. I was just pissed. Jimmy, a guy I was seeing, was cheating on me with some white girl from his job. He and I were in his car in a huge argument. It just so happened that he had pulled over and we were sitting in front of the Mates and Dates building.
Look, you think you could do better than me? Get the fuck out of here.
He screams. I get out at that point. And to be a smartass, I walked into the Mates and Dates building. Now really, at the time I had no idea what it was, and that was the truth. Welcome to Dates and Mates, where your dream mate is waiting for you. A young girl with 1,000 tattoos, but pretty, spoke to me. I stood there, waiting to see if Jimmy would leave. I planned to call for an Uber and take my ass home. Then the girl behind the desk says, "You're so pretty. You'll have an instant match." Now she has my attention. Well, first, thank you for the compliment, I say, walking over to her, a bit intrigued. Let me show you our matching services, but first, let me do a small profile on you so we can get a more accurate, look on your match. First, how much is all this gonna cost me? You're in luck. We're doing a promotion special. Sign up today, and we'll give you the first 30 matches free. And after? Dude, trust me, you're hot. You'll have a match faster than flipping a light switch. You are good, I say. Sit down and fill this form out on the computer. Now, this is the last time I wanted to see Jimmy. I was done with his lying wannabe rapper ass. I filled out a few basic questions, and Tamara, that was her name, came over and pressed a button that said, "Just do it." So many matches came to the front, I was kind of shocked. The company has a controlled restaurant across the street set up for couples who want to take it to the next step and meet. Before I knew it, I had picked out a fine-ass guy named Jace Barranco. He was 6'2", played